The 100% Wild podcast is brought to you by OnX Hunt, the nation's #1 GPS hunting app. Download today in the Google Play and App Store.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a very special DualCast edition of the 100% Wild podcast, proudly brought to you by the OnX Hunt app. I'm Tim Chelsvik. That's Matt Drury.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm great. It's deer season. I've been out deer hunting, so we're officially in the time of year that we all just can't wait for.
We're in the time of year, but it is extremely hot. DeerCast has been giving us a lot of pours and bads.
It's in the 90s.
Yeah, so we do have a cool front that's kind of coming through, a system moving through. So all of the predictions are getting a little better, so I'm looking forward to it. But what we're doing here today, we got a special edition. We're coming to you live because we need your help. All right, so a big part of what we've been doing here for our 30th anniversary this year is giving a lot of prizes away. We're giving away a farm. All you got to do is go over to DeerCast, sign up for it. No obligations other than
no strings
signing
attached.
Up.
Exactly. It's not a trick.
Giving away 60 acres there in northern Missouri, and we're giving away all kinds of awesome monthly prizes. Well, that's not the end of it. We're actually giving away a Can-Am Defender, Mossy Oak Edition Can-Am Defender, to the winner of Critical Mass this year. And we just need the viewers at home, we need their help. We need them to go over to dryoutdoors.com/vote and vote on who they felt like deserve to win and take home this Can-Am Defender. And in return, we're going to give away some prizes for that help from the users at home.
Yeah, so if you're joining us on the Facebook Live today, it's really simple to join in. Once you go vote, just hop into the live and say, I voted.
That's right.
And then at the end of this show, we will choose 3 random winners to get some really cool prizes. Do you want to hear what the prizes are, Matt?
I do want to hear what the prizes are. We might actually start giving some away in the middle of the show, too. We might not wait. Yeah, I know. I'm getting nuts here.
It's 100% wild. So the first thing that we will give away is the Scent Crusher Travel Closet.
Yeah.
Estimated retail around $180.
Nice.
So ozone your stuff, make it scent-free, ready to hunt, on the go.
Boom.
The next thing is a Tenzing TZ 3000 pack. That retails for around 300 bones.
Nice.
So that'll eat all your gear for the stand, throw it all in there,
That's right.
and you're good to go.
Getting better and better. What do we got?
And then the third thing that we're giving away today is the Morel Bionic Buck Target. So this is a big 3D buck target, and that retails for about $330.
Sweet. And then I think just by going over and voting, you got to sign up, register to vote.
There's a fourth thing.
Yeah, there's a fourth thing. We're giving away a Plano, the bow guard, the Plano case for your bow.
It's like a vault for. I mean,
it is.
Nothing's
it's pretty
getting
sweet
through there.
So we got a bunch of good prizes to give away. We need your help, and we're going to give you a little bit of an idea here as to everybody's season, the cast, their season, how it went, so you got a kind of informed decision if you haven't seen all the episodes. But we want to start that right now, I think, right?
Right. So make sure that you go to dryoutdoors.com/vote. That's where you cast your ballot.
And then just type in here, I voted.
Simple.
All right. First person out of the gate was Mr. Steve France. This guy is an absolute killer. He's been around the Drury Outdoors team for a long time.
Yep. And he's a road warrior.
He is a road warrior. I think he spent like 30 days on the road, and he's got a young family at home. 30 days on the road, traveling the Midwest. I think something like 4 different bucks total across Kentucky, Missouri, and Illinois. And he had another phenomenal season. This guy is Mr. Consistent, always.
Yeah, and some of his kills, one of them was kind of unorthodox. On his way to the stand,
That's right.
sees a buck and gets a shot off.
Yeah.
You just don't see that happen very, and had the presence of mind to film most of it.
Yeah, it's cool. So that's right out of the gate, Mr. Steve France. Then we have the ever deadly Dawn Jensen here. She is she's hunting there in Iowa. That's her home state, and she was kind of the glue that held the show together in between some of the slow periods. She was out there grinding. She's a do-it-yourself hunter, and she ended up harvesting 2 really, really mature bucks there in Iowa. Some absolute studs, one with a bow, one with a gun, and she had encounter after encounter this year. Really awesome season for Dawn.
Yep.
And a new mother, by the way.
Yeah, congratulations to Dawn. That's
exactly
It'll
right.
be an interesting deer season for her this year.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's move on to Sean Lundy. This guy, he's a grinder. He's like Steve. He's a grinder. He's hunting really small parcels kind of all across the country, and he's doing some outfitter hunts as well. He ended up, between him and his family, he really focused on his family early in the year.
Which is great to see.
He got his son on a doe early on. His father, Pop Lundy, I love that. Got him on his biggest deer of his life there in Illinois, I believe. And then Sean went and did something for himself. He went to Oklahoma, took 2 nice bucks there, and then finished the season out there in Missouri in the muzzleloader season. So had a pretty awesome season when it was all said and done.
And you can tell Sean is excited when he harvests a deer.
He is. That's true passion.
What you see is what you get with Sean.
I wouldn't want to run into Sean in a dark alley.
No way.
That's
Especially
right.
if you get horns on your head.
He's our DEA agent. So next one, this is Greg Glessinger. Greg actually killed the biggest deer in Drury Outdoors history last year.
Historical.
It's historical, 239-inch Iowa giant. He actually won the year before Critical Mass. He killed that 203.
Major League.
This one this year was called Extra Innings. But not just that. He went to Kansas in the early season with his son Derek, and they got a really nice buck there in the early season.
Yep.
And then went out to Wyoming, I believe, and got a
muley
there and kind of a spot and stalk. A really cool hunt there, kind of posted up by a bale.
A hay bale. Used his surroundings.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So Greg had another phenomenal season, but I'm trying to think here if there was anything else for Greg. That was it.
It's
right?
hard to top the biggest deer in DOD history.
Yeah, that was it, quote unquote.
Right.
Awesome year for Greg. And then Greg's partner there in crime, Casey Morgan, he had an awesome year. So he was a newcomer to the cast this year, and he was one of those guys that it was all about maturity, age before beauty. Killed a couple nice bucks in Missouri, another one in Kansas, and plus he's going all over. He's filming Greg as well, and vice versa. Greg's filming Casey, but he had a really awesome year, especially for his first year in Critical Mass. It was really cool to see Casey.
If we went by sheer body weight of deer, Casey would probably win.
Just with the one deer alone, I could say it was pure dad bod, this deer.
These things have guts on them.
All right, next was Cody Sherrick. This guy from Nebraska, he was a newcomer to the cast this year, filmed what was my favorite hunt of the year, and that's hard to say when you had the most historical deer in our company's history with Greg Glessinger's 239.
Competition,
but Cody, man, was filming on his own. He did a lot of self-filming, and he had a bunch of Tacticams out, plus a production camera on a camera arm, and he misses a deer, the deer he's after, at the lowest of lows, soon after a giant he calls Junkie comes through, and he's got this deer coming in through the woods and past the Tacticam, makes a beautiful shot out on him, and then the emotion just erupts there after he harvests the deer.
And that buck looked like he was just about to turn and walk away.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's really right in the line. He still nailed him.
It was awesome. Okay, so we're 6 people in. Should we give something away? Are there people voting yet?
Let's do it. A lot of people are voting. Thank you for everyone.
Okay.
Mike Miranda has joined us.
All right.
Mike, get back to work. Okay, so again, all you have to do is go to DrewyOutdoors.com/vote and vote for your favorite, and come back to the Facebook Live and say, I voted. Simple enough.
Easy as that. And it's only 1 vote per person, so once your email address is registered, it won't let you vote twice.
That's right. So the first winner, the person that's going to get the Scent Crusher Travel Closet, it is Nick Zulke. Apologize if I mispronounce your name, Nick. But
awesome. Congratulations, Nick. Make sure and reach out to us, or we'll reach out to you, I should say, and we'll get you the first prize here. Yeah. Congratulations.
Nice job.
All right, so back to the rest of the cast here, the final half. We got Jared Gibson out of Alabama. He had another awesome year. He's a grinder. He goes up through the Midwest kind of like Steve does, not quite as long. He's got a lot of obligations back at home.
Another
but
family guy.
He killed his biggest deer ever in Illinois. It was awesome hunt there in the timber, and then he turns around that night and drives all the way back to Alabama to make sure he can film his son the next day hunt there in Alabama, and his son kills a doe. It was an awesome experience, such a beautiful moment between the two of them, maybe the funniest part of the season.
Drake's a thinker because they're dragging the deer back to the side-by-side, and Drake's like, why don't we just go grab the vehicle and bring it to the deer?
Yeah, what are we doing here, Dad?
Yeah,
I love
Jared's
that.
like, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I think Drake gets my vote if that was possible. All right, Kyle McClellan, our retired major leaguer, he had a tough season. He misses his target animal early on, and then he kind of had a hard, tough luck year after that. But he finishes on a high note. He's got his family and the blind with him in the late season. He did the same thing last year and harvested a buck on the kind of the final day of the season. Well, this year, Doe steps out. He's got his son, his daughter, and his wife in the blind with him, and he makes a perfect shot, and they get to experience that all together and really show the kids what hunting's all about. So that was a cool moment.
Which may be worth winning just for the sake of having all those people in a blind and keeping them quiet enough to still get a kill in.
That's right. And then Brian Weiss. Brian had a tough luck season as well to start with. He missed his target animal, Buffalo Sam, with a bow. I think he missed a coyote somewhere along the way there. But he redeemed himself, totally redeemed himself, and he ends up getting a shot on Buffalo Sam later on with a crossbow and makes a great shot. And then one of my next favorite hunts of the year, he goes out to Montana. Mule deer hunting, and he makes a 400-plus yard shot, drops a mule deer in his tracks, all on camera. It was really, really awesome and a great way to end the year. He was a newbie on the cast this year, and he really showed that he belonged and grinded it out.
And then Kyle Robbins,
our second lady on the cast here, and also a newbie this year, and she had another great season. So she was one of those weekend warriors, limited time with her work schedule, and got out there to get it done and had a really cool hunt early on. I believe she missed a buck and then follows it up. She's got her sister in the blind with her, and I think it was her first time, the sister's first time ever being on a hunt.
It was her first intro to hunting.
Yeah. And Kyle kills her first ever deer with a bow there in Iowa. And then the best part of it is they followed it up with a wild game meal afterwards. So she showed her what it was all about, literally field to plate. And then there in the late season, she ended up with a great harvest there in Iowa.
So if folks are just joining us right now on the Facebook Live, we are giving you the opportunity to vote for your favorite to win Critical Mass Evolve. Who will reach Critical Mass?
That's right.
It's all determined by you, the viewer. So go over to DrearOutdoors.com/vote and then pick one of these individuals.
That's right.
And then come back to the Facebook Live and just say, I voted.
Easy as that. And for doing that, you're going to be in the running to win some cool prizes. Tim, let's give something away right now.
Let's show them the Nova stuff.
All right. So we're going to give away that Tenzing pack. I think retail value $300. The Tenzing TZ 3000 pack. Like you said, you could fit all your gear in this bad boy.
Okay.
Who are we picking?
Eric Lynn.
Eric Lynn?
With 2 N's.
All right. Congratulations. You are our second winner. All right, and as I mentioned earlier, everybody that goes to vote, you're automatically going to be registered to win a Plano the Bogard.
The Bogard.
Yeah.
Bomb-proof bow case.
That's awesome. All right, so this, like I said earlier, this is a giveaway edition of the podcast, but, you know, we should talk a little bit about hunting while we're on here as well,
you
right?
Want to do that?
A little bit.
Let's...
Because a lot of seasons have opened up for people. We still got a few that are holding out till October 1st and beyond. But by and large, a lot of them are starting to kick in here.
And if you want a good update on what's happening around the whitetail world, go to DeerCast, go to the fan share feed, and you will see an unbelievable amount of deer that have already hit the ground.
Yeah.
And some incredible. In fact, our June lacrosse winner in the 30-year Drury Outdoors anniversary giveaway.
This is incredible.
He entered to win the farm. And we obviously are doing monthly giveaways in that celebration also. Won these boots, went out hunting on his property in Wisconsin, took a buck that he had been after for a couple years now. It scored 198 and I think 4/8 inches.
We're not saying that because you use DeerCast, you can win prizes and kill big deer, but I'm just kind of connecting the dots for you. We're not saying it. No, that's a stretch, I know. But no, it was awesome. That was good news, and we'll have his story up soon inside DeerCast. And the fan shares and the giant trackers, and there's so much cool stuff going on. We're starting to get stories rolling in about people using DeerCast Track, a new feature this year to help find their deer. That's so awesome. That's the point. The whole point of us creating that new portion of the app. So we're excited about that. But let's give away the last prize here for this live.
Yeah, and so if folks, there's a couple of folks asking here, how do I vote? Go to DrearyOutdoors.com/vote, and you can vote there, and then just come back here to the Facebook Live and say, just type in I voted. The URL, the hyperlink that you can click on is actually in the description for this live. So if you don't want to type, just go up to the top, click on that.
Well, let's give them another minute here to vote, and then we'll pick somebody after we've had a few more votes come through. So, typically, if you've never seen the 100% Wild podcast, the Drury Outdoors 100% Wild podcast, it's we try to do one every week, and we air it inside DeerCast. We air it over in the Drury Outdoors YouTube channel, and one of the things we do every week is a question of the day. And so what happens, basically, the users at home, they submit a question via our website, and we usually have a guest on, and we try to tackle this question for them and give them some insight. This week, we got a question that we felt like, as two dads with dad bods,
engaged dad mode.
Yeah, we could help with this one. So if the guys in the studio are ready, let's tee up the question of the day here today.
This is from Jeff in Kansas City.
From Jeff and Casey. Guys, we ready with that?
Hey, it's Jeff from Kansas City, Missouri. My question is, I have a son that's 14 years old now, and he took his first deer a couple years ago. Once he got to the deer, I started feeling bad. Kind of, what did he do? And he's been hunting with me for years, but now he went back last year, didn't take a deer, and then he's saying this year he doesn't want to go. I've explained to him, obviously the process of food and conservation, but wonder if you guys had any advice on what I can do to kind of get him back in the woods or at least get him comfortable. Thank you.
Okay. So the question of the day was brought to you by the new Lacrosse Navigator series. Over 100 years of expertise culminates in these new lace-up boots that are 100% waterproof and 100% ready to go farther and hunt longer. So I think Jeff's in a dilemma here that a lot of parents in this new age technology and youth sports, travel ball, and I think he's in a predicament that a lot of us are in or will be in, and I don't know that it's going to get easier, certainly. So my son's a little young. We're just getting to the age where we're starting. I mean, he's constantly asking me. I was telling you earlier, this year he's seeing dad shooting his bow every day. Yeah. He's now asking, why can't I go to the farm every time you go to the farm, and all that, which is great. That's the position I want to be in, because I'm never pushing it on him. Just if he wants to come, I try to make it where I can bring him here, there, when it works.
Sure.
You have a daughter that's probably, the age where, okay, it's now time to see if she wants to hunt.
Yep. If
she does hunt, if she pulls the trigger, what happens, or whatever the case may be, whatever weapon she's using. So how do you approach this?
So first off, there's a lot of kind of pre-work to do. We started on squirrels. She's helped me clean the squirrels, so she's seen the blood and the guts, and she's been a part of that, and I think that's kind of a stepping stone into it. But we had a situation last year when she was out for her first time. We had does in front of us at probably 20 yards, and she had her rifle there, and I'm trying to whisper to her, okay, take your shot, and she's kind of whispering to me, I don't want to shoot a girl deer.
Yeah.
And as much as I wanted to see her kill a deer, if she didn't want to do it, I was not going to push her into it, because I didn't want her to feel conflicted about that kill.
Yeah.
So it needs to be in her timing, obviously with a little bit of prompting, but in her timing and on her terms.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand. And so in this instance, Jeff, his son, shot a deer, and now he just doesn't want to go back. And so what, in your opinion, where can you go from there? How do you try to get your kid to where they're back involved, but you're not forcing the issue? Because that only makes it worse.
As I thought about Jeff's situation, I at first I was concerned, but then I'm thinking there's also some bright spots in here. Like, his son understands the gravity of death, the respect for the animal.
Yeah.
And ultimately, if he doesn't want to come back to hunting, then that just may be the way things are.
Yeah.
But maybe there are other ways to ease him into and transition him back into hunting. Like maybe he helps on a recovery at
Sure.
some point, or maybe he helps with processing.
Sees the camp experience, is in camp with them. Maybe it's, hey, come hunt with dad. You don't have to pull the trigger. You know,
Yep.
it's just come hang out with dad. Let's bond or whatever, or mom or whoever. You know, I have some interesting insight on this from a personal experience because really the same exact thing happened to me as a kid. So dad and I hunted for years and years and years, never had any luck. It was always tough hunting.
Yeah.
And finally at the age of, I think it was 15 or 16, I shot with my bow. I shot a 120-inch deer there in Illinois, and after I did it, I more or less said, "All right,
I'm good.
I'm good," you know. And he never forced the issue on me, and he could have, especially doing what they were trying to do
no
at that
doubt.
time.
It would have made
That
a lot
would
of
have been
sense.
The mid 90s, and they were really getting going, and I just didn't have the interest. I was more interested in school activities and hanging out with buddies, and it wasn't something I had an interest for. But I came back to it later in life after college and starting to pick up on, hey, you know, I think I'd like to go. And I started by just going to camp and hanging out
Yeah.
and really enjoying the camp life and meeting the characters that are in camp, you know, the Comstocks and the Yappers and the
Yeah.
Kilmers.
And you still came back,
Coon
huh?
Dogs of the world. Yeah, I still came back. And that's what draws me back. And then ultimately asked Dad, hey, would you mind if I shot a doe? And that's kind of what
Yeah.
got me back into it. And so, and now I couldn't imagine not doing it. So it was on my terms, but you're looking at a real long play there. You know what I mean? It's just trying to make sure you have the open door for them for when they hopefully want to come back to it.
Agreed. And if folks are just joining us, we're talking about Jeff's situation of having a teenage son who doesn't want to come back to hunting, but we're also giving away some cool prizes if you vote for one of our 10 contestants on Critical Mass Evolve. This year, you can go to DrearyOutdoors.com/vote, and the link is in the description for this Facebook Live. Go vote, and then come back to the Facebook Live and say, I voted, and you'll be entered to win some pretty sweet prizes.
Yeah, and the gravity of this whole situation is we're ultimately giving away a brand new Mossy Oak Edition Can-Am Defender. You're looking at, you know, like a $20,000 prize to one of these cast members. So we were wanting to get your honest opinion on who you felt like won the season per se. You know, whatever in your view that means. You may have picked Kyle McClellan, who didn't ever shoot a buck. You know, he had a tough season, but he got his family involved. It's up to you to make your decision on who you feel like reached critical mass. So
That's right.
We're doing that, and then in general, we're just talking hunting here.
Yeah. And so you brought up the point of it being a long ball, kind of a long-term game, and I think that's so critical because I know, like, I want my kids to kill a deer as soon as they can.
Yeah.
When they're old enough to shoulder a gun, I want them to kill but you have to think about them in terms of a lifetime. And,
Yes.
and you may you may win a battle, but you may lose the war.
And I think you need to understand the personality of your child too. You know, so for
Yeah.
instance, Jared Gibson's son Drake, he was 6 years old, and Jared felt like he was ready. The son was always wanting to go hunting, and I don't know what led up to it, but he felt like he was ready. Conversely, I have a 5-year-old, and I know he's not ready, and he wants to come hunting with me, but he wants to just come be with Dad. He's not ready for hunting, and I don't think he will be maturity-wise for a little bit yet, because I want him to understand what happens when he pulls the trigger, and I don't want him to be turned off by that.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So I think it's different for everybody. You just got to understand what your kid's like.
You're describing an actual term in behavioral psychology. It's called task-relevant maturity.
Tim, you're getting too deep here.
I know. I'm known for that.
You are.
But it's just a fancy way of saying a person's ability to handle a particular task.
Yeah.
And seeing the inside of an animal, that requires, shouldering a weapon, that requires a certain amount of task-relevant maturity.
Yeah.
They may be fine in some areas, but that particular one, maybe not yet. And so you as the parent have to know exactly when that's right.
Yeah. So let's give away this last
do
prize. This is the Morel Bionic Buck Target. Retails at $330. Well worth voting for. Who's our next winner?
Mike Wilson.
Mike Wilson, congratulations, buddy.
Nice job, brother.
Appreciate you voting. And I do want to mention that the voting will go, I believe it's going to go through Sunday, and we'll pick the winner of that bow case after that. So You can vote up through Sunday, and
Yeah, keep voting.
and then the cool part about this is going to be announced live on the Outdoor Channel Tuesday night, 9:30 Central. That's when Critical Mass airs. So be sure to tune in to the Outdoor Channel to check this out to see who wins next week in Season 2 of Mossy Oaks Critical Mass. So I think that's it. That's the highlights.
We should also remind people that if they have been completely impressed by this Facebook Live, this is also a podcast.
If you're a real weirdo and you were impressed by
if you're
this,
so bored in life that you need more of this, you can get this podcast wherever podcasts are gettable.
Please subscribe. The Jury Outdoors 100% Wild
And
Podcast.
it costs $0 to do it.
We should actually be paying them.
Let's do it.
Mark, Terry.
You get 38 cents every listen.
That's right. All right. So I think that's going to do it for us today. We appreciate you. There's a cool front moving through the Midwest. All you hunters that your seasons are open, be checking your DeerCast app or DeerCast.com, new for this year. Check it out and see what the weather looks like, and hopefully shooter walks by you, whatever
That's
that
right.
may mean for you.
Let us know about it too in DeerCast.
That's
Upload
right.
it and we'll share it.
All right. Until next time, safe hunting.
See ya.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV is brought to you by onX Hunt, the nation's #1 GPS hunting app.